Hi everybody, Lisa here with another Vera Bradley bag of the day. It's Friday, and it felt like a good time to take advantage of the hashtag Flashback Friday. I don't always do a Flashback Friday kind of thing like I've been trying to do the Wallet Wednesday and the Throwback Thursday. But I try not to live my life totally in hashtags. But I was carrying today the Carson Hobo, and I also wanted to talk about a vintage piece, and so it seemed like a good moment to take advantage of the Flashback Friday hashtag. um, First, to complain a little bit, I am flashing back to the Carson Hobo and the days when it didn't seem like Vera Bradley was discontinuing every bag that I love. This bag is a great bag, and it is now a retired style as far as I can tell. It doesn't seem to be coming out in any of the newer patterns, and I think it's a real shame. I love this bag, and every time I carry it, I'm pleased with it. So I thought I would give it another shout out. I also wanted to show it sitting on the table rather than being upstairs on my bed, because sometimes people are curious, since it's a less structured bag, about how it sits or stands up. Does it flop over too much? And so you can see here, and I have stuff, my usual stuff in it, but I'll take that stuff out. But you can see, it's standing up fine. You can wear it as a shoulder bag or a crossbody. I tend not to do the crossbody thing, although in a recent video I did put my Fox Forest Carson Hobo on crossbody, and I thought it looked pretty good. I had never even put the bag on crossbody before. But I tend to use it as a shoulder bag. But it's got the adjustable strap. And this pattern is charcoal medallion. And I like this pattern. I think that it functions well as a neutral because of its sort of monochromatic kind of palette with the black and the gray, just a little touches of blue. It is a little bit more grid-like, this pattern, and so I do feel like it's one of those patterns that I want to pick out items in person. I bought this in one of the signature stores near me, and the saleswoman was very nice, and I was looking at one, and then she got another one out from the back, because without me even prompting her, because she knew people like to pick out their pattern placement, and she wanted to give me, another option. But I did end up sticking with this one because of that pleather label, down the front, was the most centered between these medallions. It was a little bit more off on the other bag, and it looked funny. So I just mentioned that also because I had wanted this bag in the 100, the iconic 100, and I was getting very frustrated. Anytime I looked at that bag, one side of the bag, the pattern placement was excellent, and the other side just looked like a hot mess, with the medallions all cut off awkwardly, and the straps on that run along the sides of the 100 sort of competing with the fabric on the body of the bag. Just I find it's a hard bag to get good placement on with this pattern, and so I still have yet to get it. I don't know if I ever will. On the side panel here, you can see placement's pretty nice too, because there's a side panel of fabric, and the medallions are pretty centered there. There's no real exterior, except for that pleather. That it really doesn't seem to have the pleather label. It doesn't really have much of a back or a front, like with pockets or flaps or anything. But there is this vertical zip pocket on the back edge. It's a good sized pocket. I tend not to use it that much. One, because I'm always afraid I'm going to forget that I put something in there, because it's an unusual, kind of atypical pocket, and not used to using a pocket like this. But the other thing is, and I'll put the bag on to show people, it's oddly positioned, I think. It's awful metal zippers, see they get stuck, which is also, why one of the reasons why I hate these zippers. I tolerate them on this bag style because I love this bag so much. But the top zipper is also one of those metal zippers. I haven't had as much trouble with this top zip sticking, but sometimes when the bag is opened all the way, these metal zippers will catch and it will be hard to close them. But anyway, so when I close the top of this bag, the zipper pull is here, which would make you think that this is the front of the bag, like this would be the side of the bag you would have facing forward when you stand up, because that's when it's easiest to grab the zipper pull. However, this vertical zipper is on the vertical pocket is on the back, which seems very counterintuitive. I mean, why would you put that pocket in the back where it's harder to access? So that's another reason why I don't really use that pocket all that much. I sort of forget that it's there. But aside from that, I really do like this bag. The top opening, it's about 13 inches. And I like the fact that these, because on the Carson shoulder bag, these tab elements are pleather, and I like the fact that they're fabric on this bag, and that the strap is the matching bag fabric. And I'm so sorry to see this bag be discontinued. I have it in 3 patterns now, and I just love it. It's very comfortable, and it looks good. Inside it does have a coordinating lining, and this coordinating lining is very pretty in charcoal medallion. And the lilac medallion too has a similar interior lining pattern with just a different color scheme. Very, very pretty. This is a very pretty lining fabric, I think. You can see the details in these medallions here. It was like stained glass. And the front, the exterior pattern also reminiscent to me of stained glass, rose windows, which I guess, are sort of on the brain now that, there was that fire in Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. Luckily, the rose windows are intact still. Those are some beautiful windows. If I've been into that building, into that church. If you ever get a chance to go to Paris, and they restored it, I highly recommend going in there. Anyway, I have my normal stuff in here, GPS pouch, all-in-one crossbody that I use as a wallet, iPod, phone, and just the interior is a one big zipper pocket there, goes almost all the way down to the bottom of the bag, and 2 slip pockets on the facing wall there. I'm pretty sure it's machine washable. I can't see why it wouldn't be machine washable. I haven't had to wash it yet, but I have spot cleaned one of my Carson Hobos, Wildflower Paisley, and it came out fine. The dirt came out fine. Can't tell the fabric was ever touched with water. So that is my sob, my plea to Vera Bradley. Please bring this style back. I mean, you've got to. Let's keep this a clean video. You've got a ton of backpack styles, but not that many tote styles anymore. Not really that many shoulder bag styles. When you think about how many backpack styles you have, Vera Bradley. I mean, we're not all in high school. So the other part of the Flashback Friday video, I wanted to focus on this item, which I didn't know existed until I was, again, doing a late night eBay crawl. And I don't know how I came upon it, because I certainly was not searching for this pattern. So I don't know how it popped up, but it popped up. This is the little travel case. The pattern is Java Blue, which was spring 2006. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Java Blue is Vera Bradley's best-selling pattern. If it's not the best-selling pattern, it's certainly way up there, but I think it may be the best-selling pattern. And I was never a Java Blue fan. I still would say I'm not a Java Blue fan because of the combo, the brown and blue. It's not super exciting for me. it's a, it's a little, I don't know. But I do like the pattern details in this. To me, it's in a category like with Blue Rhapsody and Symphony and Hue, where it's very complex and there's a lot, very detailed, and there's a lot going on in the pattern. And for that, I mean, that makes it really gorgeous. The individual colors that are used here are gorgeous, especially the range of blues and the little touches of aqua. And I'll hold it up as close to the lens as I can get it in a minute. But I was very surprised at this item. And I don't... The reason I was intrigued when I saw it was because of the dimensions and how I was hoping I could use it, which was not for travel. It is for travel, but not in the sense of toiletries or cosmetics or those kinds of things or clothing. It was for one specific thing that I take with me a lot when I travel, which is probably not something most people take. When I saw the dimensions, this is 13 the long way, 10 the shorter way, so 13 by 10, and the depth is about 3.5, maybe 4, 3.5. Of course, when you put stuff in it, it expands a little bit. There's give, and it has this fabric loop, like you could carry it like a case. I mean, that's sort of what it's like, right? Like a little briefcase. And it has this double zipper. It opens up all the way, and this top flap comes open. And it has this mesh lining here with a zipper pocket, and then these 3 slip mesh pockets there. It is machine washable, and I have washed this, and I'm currently washing another one in another pattern. And in the front interior wall here, there's a piece of cardboard that's removable. This is a sleeve. It's open on both ends. It's in there good and tight. So I did, and this piece of cardboard that slips out. And so I did remove that, obviously, when washing. But it went through the washer fine. So that when I saw those dimensions, especially this, what was it again, 13, I said, I wonder if I can get my knitting needles in there on the diagonal. As my knitting needles were like 13 or 14. I couldn't remember off the top of my head, and I still haven't measured them. They're either 13 or 14. And so I was sort of interested in this cross dimension, this diagonal dimension, which I knew would give me a little bit more space. And it does. Across dimension, the diagonal is 15. And so, when I put my knitting in here, it fits perfectly with the remnants of this yarn cake. I mean, it's just perfect. It's like the angels started singing. It's so perfect. And so I can just, zip it. And I can put this in my luggage, and my knitting and including the needles, are enclosed. I mean, I probably will get some kind of point protectors or something for the needles just to make sure they don't poke through and tear the fabric. But I just was so excited for that. And so then when I saw that, I went and I ordered the second one. I don't know how rare these are. I mean, I had never seen them. And so I've only seen them now in 2 patterns, in Java Blue and in Citrus. That's the other one that I have that's washing right now. So if anybody out there is familiar with this and has seen this item in other patterns, I would love to hear about it in the comments, what patterns you've seen this item in. I haven't, I don't come across it that often. And there was one other, I got this on eBay, and there was one other Java Blue item, a little travel case also listed, and that was it. And that other seller wanted a lot more money for hers. I assume it was a her, I don't know. I think she wanted like close to $70 or something. This one was much more reasonably priced. God, I can't remember how much, but maybe 30 before shipping though. I can't remember. And the other one was the Citrus one was even a better price, and I made an offer, came in a little bit lower, but just a little bit lower. I don't lowball people because I think that's insulting. And a lot of people do that on these sites. I just wanted to take this out to show people the fabric a little bit more. So, here you can see the coordinating trim being used. Maybe if I move this a little bit closer, it's easier. You can see all those medallions there in the coordinating trim. Again, similar to, I didn't think about that when I picked out when I was talking about the charcoal medallion hobo. But again, as a sort of a medallion theme here, they really do look like stained glass rose windows or something. And the color is coming in pretty accurately here. This deep sort of teal has the most green in it of all the blues on this. Here's another part of it on this particular pattern. You can see there's another section of the pattern, so you can see all the detail work in those sort of leaf motifs, all the branches within the leaves here. And I like that on the trim there's not just one medallion design, there's 2. Here you get the back, you sort of get an overall feel of the entire pattern. So the pattern itself, while I'm not crazy about the colors, especially this kind of mid-range brown, is not doing much for me. It's a little poopy. I'm sorry to say it, but the rendering of the pattern sort of counters anything, overtakes that for me, sort of wins out. This flower here is very pretty, very like Indian looking, like the textiles from India and the patterns and the fabrics that you see in India. I feel like that was probably a real influence here on the designer for this fabric. Anyway, there again you see that part of the teal that has just a little bit more green in it. Those spots I just think are great. That they make me very happy. I love that color. I wish there was more of that color in the pattern overall. You can see it even from a distance. That color is very noticeable. It really adds something in conjunction with the other blue hues. There's a side. And then, of course, the interior coordinating fabric is pretty too, very delicate. Delicate details. The diamond shapes or square shapes. But again, like I could take or leave this pattern because of the palette, the color palette. I I would love to see the Java purple, which I know you can, and the customizing option on the Vera website now. You can customize bags. It's a bit more expensive, but they do offer Java purple as well as Java blue. So I would like to get a look at Java purple. Um, for the color palette might be a little bit more appealing to me. But the rendering in this pattern is just exquisite. I mean, it really is. So I can see why, even though the colors for me are, my personal preference, I can see why this, is a very popular, if not the most popular pattern that they released. I believe it was in production for a while, but I don't know the span of it. But again, I thought this was an interesting item. I had, never seen it before. And it's just perfect for this. Just, I can't, I'm so happy. I can't wait to, I can't wait to go travel with my knitting now. I mean, this is just, it just makes my day right there. And I'm so pleased that this is the coordinating fabric and not pleather. This seems to be before the pleather days. So anyway, this is a good flashback Friday item. I feel like vintage kind of item. And this was my bag of the day. I'm sad they're not making it anymore. Can we flash back to the days when they still made this bag item? Anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully see you next time on Vera Bradley Bag of the Day.